Hello, this is Alex with SideQuest Games, and here's our achievement guide on Horde Hero, which is to beat any Horde map solo, as well as Horde Master, which is to beat any Horde map with all security nodes at 85% health. So the Horde map you're going to want to choose is Emerald Forest. I would also highly recommend using Blake as your character, because she does have those stun blades as her ranged attack, and there really is no limit to how many NPCs or enemies that she can stun with that, and it also travels through enemies, which becomes really convenient for ad control. You can choose any other character, really. I would recommend characters that have freezing or stun abilities, such as Weiss, just because that's going to give you the most mobility around enemies. And at some parts of this, especially towards the later waves, you're going to need that just to survive. And so, Horde Master really isn't that hard of an achievement. I'm surprised it's still a 1%. But basically, the primary goal here is to distract all the enemies so that they aren't attacking those stations. And so as you can see in the video, I shoot them once, kind of move on to the next target, shoot them again, and really keep an eye on that mini-map as well as kind of the map orientation, making sure that you're able to see that station and any enemies heading towards it. It's really important to distract them and pull that aggro before they get to it, such as that Beowulf back there. Now, the primary strategy to keeping these stations at 85% health is you're going to want to orient yourself and the enemies away from the station. And so as you can see here, I'm kind of drawing them back and funneling them together so that I can hit them with my ultimates and my heavy attacks, and really am able to do more AoE damage and kill them a lot faster. And I don't have to worry about, such as that android there, missing me and accidentally doing damage towards the station. The really nice thing about the Emerald Forest map is that you're not going to have to be worrying about 3 or 4 stations at once like some of the other maps. You will at most have to worry about 2 at a time. And so with the first wave, since you're only defending 1 station, I would recommend holding on to all your money, so that way you're able to buy turrets. Now, you should have enough money to build 2 turrets. I would recommend putting 1 at each station if you feel proficient enough that you can defend 1 station on your own, and you want to do 2 at 1 station, that's perfectly fine. The reason being is these turrets are going to be a great way to pull enemy aggro, and that way those enemies that you're not able to necessarily see or attack won't be going straight for that station, and you'll have some time to kind of work around it and dance with them. Now, these white android enemies are kind of going to be the ones that you want to focus the most on, because they do have kind of like a machine gun attack that has a really big spread, and will sometimes hit your station accidentally even when they're shooting at the turrets. And so in the video, I kind of focus on it, try and aggro them into this sort of canyon, and work on the other one as well. This canyon is going to become your new best friend, simply because you can really manipulate that corner to kind of give you some cover from enemies, as well as with harder enemies, it can kind of funnel them all together, and you can be hitting them with that ranged attack over and over and over until they die. Now, once Wave 6 is completed, you're going to want to head over back to that starting area to defend the next 2 stations. It's going to be Station 4 and Station 5. These will be the last 2 stations you have to defend, so if you got money, now's the time to use it. I always recommend putting a turret at the bottom of the hill next to Station 4, because enemies sometimes have a habit on spawning on the opposite side, and sometimes you won't necessarily see them or be able to hit them in time before they start attacking that station. The strategy here is going to be trying to kite all the enemies into this middle cave area by the steps. The reason being is both your turrets will be able to hit those enemies, and it's far enough away from both stations that you'll be able to kind of freely dance around and fight everyone without having to worry about those stations taking damage. Now, you may run into a situation where one of your turrets gets destroyed. I would definitely recommend saving your money to replace turrets rather than building a bunch of extra turrets. Some of the turret locations aren't very good, and when enemies go to attack them, they will sometimes focus on your station rather than the turret, or the turret will be stuck behind the station and won't be able to hit the enemy at all. Here in the video, I kind of lost my machine gun turret there, and since it was Wave 8 and I had only a few enemies left, I figured the shotgun turret might as well, just to help take out that bear. Another good strategy with the bigger enemies is trying to get them grouped together towards one of your turrets, and this way you and your turret are both doing damage to these bigger enemies, and you are pulling the aggro from the turret, so that way they aren't focusing 100% on that turret and destroying that turret really quick. The waves are RNG based on what kind of enemies you fight, and so you may have some really easy waves and you may have some really tough waves. All in all, the strategy stays the same. Killing that last enemy is going to get you Horde Master as well as Horde Hero achievements. They're both Diamond achievements right now on Xbox, so it's a great time to go get them. Hope this guide was able to help you. This is Alex with SideQuest Games. Please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.